What would it be like to be able to heal from any disease without the use of drugs and surgery? And what would it be like to know the secrets that have allowed, for centuries, the spiritual masters of every religion to stay healthy without resorting to traditional medicine? After the great success of the video in which we talk about the power of self-healing, you can find the link to watch it in the description. We decided to explore this topic further. So stay until the end of the video because you will discover the secrets you can use to stimulate your self-healing abilities. But before continuing, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications and share the video. In this way, you will help us produce new content every day for your spiritual growth. Master Kaito, following the conference, The Art of Healing Oneself, was inundated with requests to delve deeper into the topic. In fact, the people who heard his words were so impressed that they wanted to know more. If healing thanks to the power of one's mind is possible, most of them asked, why not commit ourselves to following Kaito's teachings? So, a few weeks later, the elderly monk organized a new meeting in which, thanks to word of mouth, 3 times as many people took part compared to the first conference. Dear friends, Kaito began, today we are here to talk again about the power of self-healing and to take a step forward by discovering the secrets through which to put this concept into practice. Those present were more and more excited as they were aware that the master would give them the right ideas to keep fit and heal their mind and body from any illness. Before getting to the techniques, therefore the practical advice to be used to heal ourselves, I would like to clarify to everyone how the concepts of power of the mind and self-healing are not linked to strange magical rites, superstitious visions, and so on. You should know that over 20 centuries ago, the Athenian philosopher Antiphon went around repeating that, in all men it is the mind that directs the body towards health or towards illness, as towards everything else. In the following centuries, someone tried to confirm his theory, but they ended up shifting attention mainly towards the physiology of the disease, leaving out its spiritual and psychological aspects instead. And so, little by little, human beings have become accustomed to resorting to medicines and surgery, even though we have all the resources within us to heal ourselves from illnesses. Think of the animals that, having not lost the ancestral wisdom that distinguishes them, manage to heal themselves thanks to the resources that nature makes available to them. There are herbs, minerals, and insects, in fact, that, used in the right way, can disinfect, keep fit, and heal. We humans also have the ability to heal ourselves, but we do it much more difficult than animals, and this for 2 fundamental reasons. Because modern society has led us to look for the shortcut of drugs, whereby 1 pill is enough and we are cured, or at least, this is what we hope for. So our brain has forgotten that it has important resources to draw on, and we turn to medicines, even though the chemicals often do more harm than good. And then because, when faced with the most serious illnesses, the fear by which we are assailed does not allow us to seek alternative solutions to those which are described to us as the best, those linked to traditional medicine and surgery. As proof of this, have you ever eliminated heartburn or reflux with some of your grandmother's remedies? For example, with water and bicarbonate? You almost certainly have, and you've seen a result. But what if I told you that, inserted into an ecosystem of natural practices, bicarbonate can cure you from diseases much more serious than simple gastric reflux? Would you trust it? You would probably prefer to follow the advice of traditional medicine. People listened to Kaito's lecture with great interest, and many of them nodded in agreement. A girl raised her hand and asked, "Master, your words and wisdom fill my heart with hope. However, it is really difficult to rely solely on nature when faced with diseases of a certain severity. Dear girl, if what you need to feel more serene are scientific data, I can tell you that there are several studies on the subject in the world. For example, some scientists have scientifically explained why the brain is the organ in which the disease switch turns on and off, collecting and reporting cases in which people have become ill or have recovered as a result of the power of thought alone. Have you ever heard of, Kaito continued, the charismatic shock of faith? Years ago, for example, a farmer suffering from metastatic melanoma recovered after meeting Mother Teresa of Calcutta and receiving a sacred image from her as a gift. Know that the explanation of this miracle is absolutely scientific. Considering that melanoma is a tumor so aggressive as to paralyze the immune system, in the farmer, a mix of factors, including the expectation of faith, the encounter with Mother Teresa, and the delivery of the Holy Card, they would have triggered an unusual production of cytokines at the brain level, activating the antibodies and destroying the melanoma. The brain, in fact, is an endocrine organ that not only produces brain neurotransmitters such as serotonin, dopamine, and endorphins, but also cytokines, which help cells resist attacks by viruses, bacteria, tumors, and parasites, setting the system in motion. Immune. So, asked another person in the room, is the fact that the substances our brain generates have the power to heal our body proof that science and spirituality have a connection? Yes, replied the master, because when we are cheerful and creative, we produce good cytokines. When we are nervous and depressed, the brain releases bad cytokines, which activate inflammatory processes. This is why, according to studies, the future of medicine is all in the brain, which, depending on how it is stimulated, is responsible for both the disease and its recovery. Master, asked a boy, can we say that emotions are the basis of self-healing processes? Of course, Kaito replied, smiling. Our health depends on the interaction of three systems: the endocrine system, the immune system, and the central nervous system. Our emotions, essentially, act on the production of hormones and antibodies and consequently affect our health. Have you ever heard of the placebo effect? When scientists conduct certain research, they administer drugs to volunteers that have no therapeutic effect. Systematically, during these experiments, it turns out that a high percentage of people recover even if that drug had no therapeutic power. And what does this teach us? That in those people, a mechanism was triggered at an endocrine and psychological level, which produced spontaneous healing. Simply put, believing that the drug would heal them, they actually healed, but solely thanks to the power of their mind. Kaito, happy to see the participants' passion and interest in this topic, replied, of course, yes. The word is a real medicine. Have you ever felt better thanks to the words of someone you love? It is for this reason that, in the same way, repeating mentally or out loud to ourselves that we are fine improves the way we actually feel. Because language is born and formed in the brain, the most mysterious and powerful organ we are equipped with, where thought influences language and vice versa. Having reached this point, after having explained in detail, complete with scientific demonstrations, how self-healing is not linked to abstract concepts or strange witchcraft, Master Kaito was ready to take a further step forward. That is, revealing to everyone what and how many methods we can use to heal ourselves without resorting to medicines and surgery. Those present, fascinated by Kaito and his wisdom, got up to go to dinner, arranging to meet the next day to learn about these methods. But what does what we have seen so far teach us? That managing one's emotional state in an optimal way means producing actual improvements on a physiological level, therefore in our state of health. And that self-healing has existed since the dawn of time and is not at all something to joke about and make easy ironies. There are substances, techniques, and methods to make the power of the mind and chemistry team up to heal us. In conclusion, we invite you to leave a comment with your opinion on this fascinating topic, and we remind you that we will soon be making a video in which we will list and explain in detail the many methods we can use to stay fit or recover from illnesses.